Now, a report by Nigeria's most influential newspaper, THISDAY, says that the 2023 presidential election is more likely to enter a runoff as none of the four leading candidates may meet the legal threshold of 25% of total votes cast in each of the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory to be declared a winner on the first ballot. The newspaper, based on projections by the THISDAY 2023 Election Center, attributes the predicted runoff to unstable realities from electoral permutations. While the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, is tipped to win 21 states where he is certain to get 25%, the All Progressives Congress candidate Bola Tinubu is confident of pulling his weight in 20 states. The candidates of Labour Party, Peter Obi, and New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, come third and fourth in that order, with no particular postings in many states to satisfy the constitutional requirement of 25% of votes cast in at least 24 states. Arise News analyst Kayode Otitoju joins us now to look at the permutation of the figures as reeled out by THISDAY data. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you
Cynthia.
for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yesterday during the paper review, you were quite optimistic that the election would not end in a runoff. Do you still maintain your stance based on what we've seen with the THISDAY projections?
Yes.
Okay.
It will be decided on first ballot. Though I like the premises at which THISDAY permutation and projections are based, because it's not a quantitative approach, rather it's qualitative approach, which is more relevant in the area of social sciences, where you study human behavior as related to societal level or individual level as to what we call psychology and sociology. So they have used the correct parameters whereby they base things on some things that you don't really have to carry out head counting or whatever. You regionalize, then again you give room for so many assumptions which are always acceptable when you are doing non-parametric test of events or of things. So it's okay. And what are the things they are basing it on? How is the candidate, popular in this area? How is, let me just reel it out, presence of the candidate in each of the states, their structure and support base, capacity to mobilize, the content in their manifesto, ethnic sentiment, then ethnic sentiment, religious sentiment, their popularity and financial washes, how deep your pocket is. So these are things that, over the time you can say this is the trend, just as we have in the time series analysis. So you can say this is the trend, but when you look at what is happening in Nigeria now, it's difficult to say dogmatically that this is the trend of things. But one thing is still sure, and that buttresses my stance on winning at first ballot, and that is every governor in the political party will still deliver is state 25% of the votes. And where you have a party having 21 or 22 states governors, just know that the 24 states that must give 25% of the vote is already more or less secured. And now, when you look at what is happening to the two major parties, one is stable in terms of structure. Like you can say APC has been very stable.
Have they really?
No, have been very stable. Has been very stable in their stronghold right from the day of AD. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. The Southwest has been their base and stronghold. And even in this permutation, APC is having all the 6 states, that is in terms of 25% requirement. Now, when you go to Northwest, where the total registration of voters and even the collection of voters card is like double, that of either South or more than double of Southeast. You see that actually, since the incursion of APC and the merger of CPC, that's Buhari's party, okay? It's like it remains solid for APC because of the merger, that made Buhari to win in 2015. So you see that actually the real major corridor out of the 6 geopolitical zones, that's Southwest, Northwest, the 25% is secured for APC. And again, in terms of numerical strength, we have voters registration of over 22 million for for Northwest, okay? Whereas in the Southeast, we have less than 12 million, okay? While in the South, we have about 18 million. So even the South and Southeast combined, you are still having maybe difference of just 3 million, to match up with the number of votes, 22 million of Northwest. Then in the Southwest, which is next to Northwest, which is about 18 point something million voters, you see that after securing the 25%, okay, of the votes in at least 24 states of the Federation, the corridor where is solid for APC, for instance, is the corridor with largest number of voters, that's North, West, and Southwest. Now, let's move to the area of strength of the next candidate, that's Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar is very strong in the Northeast, but that had been, whittled down by the emergence of Shetima as the vice presidential candidate to APC. So by so doing, Atiku will still get his 25% in all the states in the Northeast, okay? Why even PDP will be sure, APC will be sure of at least, the 25% in at least 3 of the states in the Northeast. So, unlike before, when PDP will have taken that corridor almost 75%, now it's difficult for PDP to even have more than, 45% of the votes in that area. So now you come to the central. The central, Benue has the largest vote in the central, followed by Kogi, okay? And then followed by Kwara, Nasarawa, and Go. So you see that actually, in terms of the highest is Niger, followed by Benue. No, Niger followed by Kogi, then followed by Benue in terms of strength. You see that actually the two parties too are very strong, okay? Like Niger State, APC is very strong. PDP too, because they have gotten governor there before. So the structures are there. And structure, when I started with this structure or no structure, immediately I joined Arise late August. When I started harping on structure, some people were saying, well, structure, what structure? Structure, when it comes to election and voting, is very germane to electoral success. So all your campaign, either you are campaigning globally without, zero eating to the grassroots, or you are campaigning underground at the grassroots, which I can say is really effective campaigning. Structure still matters. At higher level, at national level, you need the growth poles. The growth poles are the big names that people rally around at the grassroots. Why the grassroots structure has to do with that young man that knows that, okay, if my party wins, I may become a councillor. Or if my party wins, I may become the local government chairman. Or if my party wins, I may be the House of Assembly member, or House of Rep, or Senate. All these people are structured that will work towards the emergence of Mr. President, whoever is to become president. So where you don't have solid structure at the grassroots, these people that on Sundays afternoon, they will come together, maybe eat beans cake, and solidarize and strategize. These are the people on the election day. And election, again, the day preceding the election is very, very important. I give you an example. In the election of Ekiti, of 18 June this year, ANAP gave the victory to either SDP or APC. And it was even hampering on SDP, that Social Democratic Party, headed by Engineer Shegoni. But then the two parties were looking towards Tinubu's emergence as presidential candidate of, APC. If they don't pick, if the party doesn't pick Tinubu as their presidential candidate, SDP was, looking forward to having him to join them and contest under them. While APC too was, looking at someone who can deliver and who should be Tinubu. The day to the election, Tinubu was picked by APC. And that means all the projection by ANAP, or the people at the grassroots, or the people in Ekiti, that it will be almost 50-50 or 51 against 49. All those, So a day matters a lot. And even as we are talking now, you may say, okay, Tinubu will have a field day. Wike and his colleagues may come back from London and pitch tent with PDP and turn the whole calculation. Because I've once, said it, on this table, that which of the two parties is supported by Wike's group, we win the election. Because they control almost 4 or 5 states, and that matters. The governor of a state is not just a governor. He controls so many things. And so, if today, Wike and his group see sense in going back to their party, all right, then PDP will give APC a big problem. Or if Wike group, Obi's group, and the PDP come together to be where they were about this time last year, and it's the same party, which is PDP, or they prefer making Southerners to be the president, which should be, and all of them combine and work with Obi, then I'm telling you, head or tail, the Southerner will win, and it will be either APC or Peter Obi. But in the absence of that, the presidency is still coming to the South, and it will be won by APC and on first ballot.
Well, that's your prediction. Yep. And even though you don't agree that it might be a runoff as predicted by, This Day, one thing that is clear is, you and This Day share the same predictions when it comes to River State, because it does say that the state is going to be one to watch, and the predictions are that Wike factor could work for or against Atiku. But let's see how things play out come the elections. Arise News analyst, Mr. Kayode Otitoju, thank you so much for joining us on this day. We appreciate your time as always.